Welcome to the Entrepreneur Experts Cafe, sponsored by Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel. I'm Kimberly Hobshide, your host and the creator of the Facebook community, Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel. It's a community by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, helping entrepreneurs and experts get their business to the next level. Come join the community at www.entrepreneursrocketfuel.com/Facebook and join the conversation. Today, I'm going to interview Larissa Banting. Larissa is an expert on publicity for entrepreneurs. Larissa, welcome to the Entrepreneur Experts Cafe.
Thanks for having me, Kimberly. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. So, Larissa, I love the way you show up in the world. Super happy to have you here talking with us. But before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about how you got into helping entrepreneurs with publicity? What's your story?
Okay, well, I actually am accredited in public relations, and that goes back when I was living in Canada, and I kind of fell into it, to be honest, to public relations. My parents had been event producers. I was a professional dancer, and then after I retired from dancing, I found myself working as a publicist and in marketing for like the Alberta Ballet Company, and that just kind of parlayed itself into eventually I was working for a municipal government. I did some work for Bombay Sapphire Gin and a lot of television and film productions. And one of them took me down to Costa Rica in 2001. We were shooting, and I met one of the local actors on set, fell in love, left everything behind, and found myself here in Costa Rica in 2002. When we still had dial-up internet, and there was no such thing as a laptop lifestyle, and there was no social media, like nothing. So I didn't speak Spanish at that time, so I had to pivot, and so I opened up a destination wedding planning company. And at that time, again, it was like either you got the word out about yourself, or you spent a lot of money on ads in the glossy wedding magazines. So I chose the first, and put on my publicist hat and got the coconut rolling, so to speak. And media begets more media. It kind of eats itself. So it's like this giant snowball that starts to roll down the hill. Next thing I know, I have been named by Destination Weddings and Honeymoons magazine as one of the top 30 destination wedding planners in the world. And because of that, everything kind of just blew up. And in our fourth year of business, we hit our first 7-figure year, and I had 14 employees, and
That's
yeah,
incredible.
It was crazy. So that's my story, how I pivoted out of necessity. But I've always been doing public relations all along, and like for with my own business, and then the last couple of years, I've been seeing so many entrepreneurs who are just like, publicity. Wow, you've got to be like a Kardashian for that, or you have to have like thousands of dollars to spend on a publicist, not realizing that they can do it themselves. This is not brain surgery, it's nothing, it's really not that complicated.
Well, it may not be complicated, or you may not feel it's complicated because you've got a background in it and you've been doing it, but it can feel intimidating for some entrepreneurs to be like, I don't even know where to get started with publicity. I know I need it, but I'm not sure where to get it. Like, how do I get the word out about who I am and what I do? And how do you help people like when they feel stuck like that?
Well, and this is the thing. I feel like right now there's like this huge sort of gap in the marketplace, because it's like, do it all on your own. Good luck, God bless, or hire a publicist. So I've come up with a couple of things to kind of fill in that gap. I do I have a free talk that I give called Mind Your Story, because I really believe everybody, your life, your business, everything is like a gold mine. And there's these little golden nuggets that you just have to go in and just chisel them out, buff them up, and then let them shine out into the world. I mean, that is everything from where you went to college, because they all have alumni news magazines and newsletters, and they want to showcase their alumni who've done well. That's a great audience to get started with.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you have a hobby. Did you know that there are 12 different magazines dedicated to crochet?
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy. So there is literally a niche for everything. And yes, of course, we all want to do the Forbes and the Fast Company and Wall Street Journal. But these little niche publications are just as important.
I'm thinking they may, in some cases, be more important, because if you are targeting a very specific audience, if you're targeting people who crochet, getting in one of the 12 crochet magazines that you just talked about would be even more important than getting into Forbes, don't you think?
Yeah, well, absolutely. And here's the thing, Kimberly, is that, humans, we're tribal. Like, like we all want to feel that sense of belonging.
Yeah.
So when, say you get into that crochet magazine, like, even though, like, I don't know, maybe you're an entrepreneur and you have a marketing company, but you have mad crochet skills. So they focus on your crochet hobby. Everyone who reads that magazine is going to say, oh, well, actually, I have a business, or my friend has a business, and she's a crocheter. Well, I want to work with her, or they should work with her, because crochet people are cool.
And we stick
together. Right? And we stick together. Exactly. It's the same, like, why do you think if you get into your alumni newsletter? That's perfect, because, we're part of the same team. We're part of the same, go Gators, or whatever your school mascot. I'm Canadian.
Mustangs. So. I'm a Mustang. So yeah.
Okay. I was a York Yeoman, which isn't really a big thing in Canada. But the point being is that automatically, as soon as they see that you're part of their tribe, you have that whole know, like, and trust factor that takes 8 to 10 touch points has just gone, because now you're one of them.
Yeah.
So you've got that alignment, you've got that kinship. So that is the training that I like to bring forth to people, to make them realize you don't have to start trying to get onto the front of the New York Times. That little crochet magazine could really open more business doors for you than you actually might think.
Interesting. All right. So what are maybe 3 of the biggest myths that people have around publicity, where they're like, I really believe this about publicity, and it's just not true?
Okay. Myth number 1 is that you already have to have made it to be of interest. Okay. And that could be further from the truth. If you're an entrepreneur, if you have a business, you are already an expert in your niche and in your field. Otherwise, you would not be doing this. Right. So go forth with that, because, you calling yourself an expert, you are an expert. And if you present yourself and you're polished and you can speak and to whatever it is that you're doing, to the media, they're not experts in what you do. They're looking to you. They're basically just the megaphone, right? They're giving you the microphone to amplify out to their audience. But they're looking to you to give the words of wisdom and the expertise. So don't ever feel like, oh, who am I to come up and be featured? I don't care if this is your first year in business, you can go out there because you have something to share. Myth number 2 is that the media are difficult to deal with. The reality is they're busy. Like, you think you're busy, they're always on a deadline. But here is the biggest secret. In order to succeed, you just need to come and be of service, right? Think about it. If someone comes to you and says, hey, I've already done all of this work that you needed to do, I'm just going to give it to you done. You're going to love them, right? Like, you're going to be like, oh my gosh. And that's exactly, if you come to the media and say, hey, I'm an expert in this, I have this great story idea, and here's a couple of points I'm going to talk about. I am ready to go. I think this is going to be of service to your audience. Would you be interested? Perfect. That's really all it is, because they don't have time to start researching it. And that's what, if you can come with a really well thought out story pitch, it doesn't have to be long, that is going to, and just follow through with what you say you're going to do. I guarantee you're going to be like a success with the media.
What's number 3?
Number 3 is that it's really hard to get featured on the big publications. Like, it's not, it's really, the media eats itself. I said that earlier, and it's true. Like, you might be in some, and this is a true story, this happens all the time. You might be in like some little article, in some small publication, but someone could see that from another publication, or even a television program, or a podcast, a fairly big podcast. That story resonates with them and their audience. And they can call us, hey, I'd love to have you on my show, or I'd love to interview you for a story for my audience as well. Because again, they're looking at a blank screen. They don't have time to start coming up with all these ideas. So they're looking for inspiration.
If people want to work with you directly and they're ready to bust these myths and they're ready to get started in publicity and they need help, but they don't have a big budget, but they want to get off the dime, what can they do in order to get in contact with you, to get working with you?
Okay, well, I have my website, which is my name, larissabanting.com,
Can you spell that out?
and LARISSAB as in Bob, AN as in Nancy, TING. I'm the only one in the world with that name, so it's pretty easy to find me. But I have everything from everything listed on my website there, my offerings from people who are ready to take that big step for with an actual full-time publicist, or I have starting right from $27. I have my Pitch Perfect, which is basically the tools that you need to get out there and start pitching yourself to the media, and B, I give you a training on how to have the media slip into your inbox 3 times a day for free, looking to interview experts. And for myself, I've done that. I've been on IBM, Reader's Digest, BuzzFeed, Yahoo News. It's an incredible tool, and it's seriously 10 minutes a day is all you need to start hitting it big in the media.
Fantastic. Great tips. All right, Larissa, thanks so much for carving time out of our day. We are at time, but before I let you go, do you have any final words for our crew?
Well, I always like to say, get featured, get famous. So put yourself out there. Don't be afraid of the media. And, if you want to make an impact on the world, this is the easiest and fastest way to do so.
Wow, great tip. All right, what was it? Get featured, what was it again?
Get featured, get famous.
Get featured, get famous. I love it. Thanks, Larissa, for being here. All right, folks, this is Kimberly Hobscheid with Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel and the Entrepreneurs Experts Cafe. We're so glad you joined us. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you back next time. Cheers.